Hello, FA Nation. I'm Marianne Lee. I'm the usual suspect here, but today we have a special guest. We have Mr. James Grande. You can follow him on Twitter at @the_real_grande, which I love that Twitter handle, by the way. But welcome to the show. How you doing?
I am well. Thank you guys for having me. I hope to fill the big void that Howard left. I hope I suffice today.
You don't have the big curly hair though.
Or the
That
beard,
we're missing out. And
and
or the beard. Well, he
definitely the
hasn't had
beard.
the beard lately
Right,
either.
right.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on there with Movember, but yeah. So welcome everybody. We're so excited to have you. We are here talking about Week 9, 6 teams on bye. So a lot of us are super desperate. So when people are like, "Oh, I can't possibly start this player," well, you might be. You might be this week. So like people are like, "Oh, I mean, can I really trust Isaiah Crowell?" And I'm like, "Oh, do you really have other options? Like, do you? Do you? Other
No.
starting running back options? I'm sure you don't." So we're going to be taking your questions, obviously, on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. We are starting a little bit late today, and I have to share this everywhere, which I have not yet. And so we're going to get that all done today. Are you sharing too, Mr.
Yes,
Grande? This
I
is your
am.
moment.
Yeah. Oh, yep.
Share
Sorry,
it.
sorry. I think I already shared it. Nope. I lied. I shared. I have currently shared.
All right, 6 teams on bye. I'm just doing this right now because, again, we had some technical difficulties because we do high tech stuff here, and sometimes that happens on Fantasy Alarm. I mean, like that is life. That is life, everybody, and it's all good. And we want to thank our wonderful producer, Edward. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. I know it was a stressful morning, but we know. Okay, great. So moving on to Week 9, because let me tell you, we have a lot of work to get to here. The big story right now is Miami and the field conditions. We talked a little bit in the pre-show, you and I, James. I'm not a big fan of caring about this because the
Right.
last time they played, it was a big over/under. They went over 50 points, I believe you said. Also, it's a little bit of much ado about nothing as far as I'm concerned. Don't sit someone just because of these conditions. They've played in worse, you guys. It still is only November. There is no snow. I mean, look, it's 85 degrees there, you guys. Sunny, no wind. I mean, there's just no other problem. I think they'll figure it out. What do you think, James?
I mean, I wish I said it on the off air. I wish they planned like the schedule. Like, I wish the NCAA and the NFL got together and planned better because
Yeah.
now this is the second year in a row. But I'm with you. Like, it's not too big of a concern. Just come on. You guys, we have a year to figure this out next year. Okay, 365 days from now when they play again. Let's not play a game on Saturday and then game on Sunday at the same stadium. Just
Yeah.
to avoid all this talk, because again,
Great.
56 points last year with Josh McCown as a starting quarterback. So I have confidence this year we can put up some points on the board too.
Correct. And by the way, everyone who is watching us, maybe you're watching us mobile and watching the New York City Marathon. I ran that 7 years ago, I believe, 6 years ago. It's a really cool event. I hope that everyone's having fun. And if you watch it on TV or whatever, it's really cool if you're there. I loved running the New York City Marathon. So also, you may have some loved ones that are running it, and you're going to meet them at the finish line here soon, what have you. So congratulations, everybody. Happy Sunday from Austin Rivera over here on YouTube. We're going to be going YouTube, Facebook Live, Periscope. We're going to keep it together. Edward, I think we can hear you still. Just wanted to let you know. I think you're taking some drinks of water, hanging out. You do you, but I just wanted to let you know. Okay, happy Sunday from Austin Rivera. John Brown or Cooper Kupp returning from injury PPR. I'm going to start with I would do Cooper Kupp until he dies. I don't know. Guys, he's still
Yes.
top 25 wide receiver and he hasn't played for 2 weeks.
And he gets all the red zone work. So
Yummy.
Cooper Cup, please.
Cooper Kupp, please, for whatever the price is. Literally, you can put any price on it. I'm gonna be like, yes, I'll
Agreed.
take Cooper Kupp. Especially against the
100%.
Saints when this huge. I mean, this game has a 60 over under. That is absurd,
Yeah, that's
people.
insane.
That's insane. So I'm gonna go with that. Now, John Brown has gotten a lot of volume. Interesting play against Pittsburgh. Certainly, Joe Flacco's best game was against Pittsburgh earlier this season. I actually think if you are desperate at quarterback, believe it or not, I would roll Joe Flacco out there over 300 yards, multiple touchdowns against Pittsburgh. This time he's at home instead of at Pittsburgh. But you feel good about John Brown, even though we don't think he's Cooper Kupp, right?
Yeah, I mean, he went over 100 yards against Pittsburgh in the first matchup.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the volume. It's kind of been going towards like Willie Snead lately. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's fine. But again, this Cooper, we're not sitting Cooper Cup for John Brown.
We're not seating Cooper Cup for anyone other than maybe Michael Thomas this week. I mean,
Okay.
literally, like,
Okay,
if you have
that's fair.
DFS, I'm putting Cooper Cup everywhere, everywhere I possibly can. I'm gonna say Cooper Cup. Okay. Start Eckler over Godwin or DJ Moore PPR. Started Kittle and Breida on Thursday.
I would go the receivers over Eckler. I mean, we're getting more against Tampa, and we're getting Godwin, who has Fitzmagic on his side, and first 3 weeks he scored a touchdown. So I like both of them. Melvin Gordon active or plans to be active, so I like both of them over Eckler.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to start with this. It's week 9. 6 teams are on bye.
Right.
We're making tough decisions. Nick Mullens started week 9 being a star. By the way, I think Nick Mullens' performance is one of my favorite things that's happened so far.
Amazing. Yeah, it's
Reminds me
incredible.
of why I love football. It's
Sports in general, that's just an incredible moment.
incredible moment. The fact that he threw 3 touchdowns in his NFL premiere in prime time, and the Buffalo Bills have 3 passing touchdowns on the year going into week 9 is so crazy. Just try to wrap your head around that. George Kittle obviously had a huge game, over 20 fantasy points in PPR formats. Breida had just under 6, and that's what's interesting here. I like DJ Moore this week against Tampa because it's Tampa, and I just don't care to sit anyone. Cam Newton's shoulder injury, we kind of discussed this. I don't care about Cam Newton's shoulder for his fantasy points because, like, who cares about his shoulder? I care about his legs. But do you care about his shoulder when it comes to DJ Moore?
I mean, so the issue's been there for a little bit, and Moore's seen 16 targets over his last 3 weeks. So the volume has been there, and there's no one to cover him. So, like, if Cam Newton started throwing lefty or underhand, I think DJ Moore would still get the volume, and Tampa Bay has nobody to tackle him or do anything defensively. So yeah, I don't really necessarily worry about it at all.
I guess if I was going to be worried about Cam Newton and his shoulder, it would have been last week when he was facing Baltimore.
Correct.
Superior defense, to say the least.
Right.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay. I find this a little bizarre that now the shoulder has become this issue. I mean, I know he was limited on Wednesday, but he did get a full practice in the rest of the week. I'm not worried about it. I go more here. My only thing with Godwin is they have a lot of targets there.
Yeah, a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah, I don't feel that way as much about Carolina, even though they do have Christian McCaffrey, they do have Greg Olsen. I mean, there are, and Devin Funchess, every once in a while pops.
Yeah.
But listen, Tampa Bay, hard to deny. I will say, though, Eckler, always an interesting PPR play if you need to fill in. Hola. Hello, Eduardo. Hey, how about that Thursday night game, guys? Crazy. Yeah, exactly. So happy. The only thing I will take from this especially is that the Raiders are a real problem, but Jalen Rashard is someone you can play in your flex for the rest of the season.
Yep. Every week.
Every single week you can have Jalen Rashard. And if you can get him cheap right now, he may even still be on waivers for some people. I mean, depending on how your league is set up and how active people are, he may still be out there. I think he's an every week flex play from here on out. Good NFL Sunday morning. Good NFL Sunday morning to you, Mike. I was going to do Irish and it didn't quite work out. If Carson doesn't go, my best waiver wire options are Henry or Booker. Which do I go in PPR format?
Booker. I'm not. Derrick Henry is dead to me until further notice.
Yeah. Listen, I feel like doing I told you so's in fantasy are a little bit. But we're in week 9 and I'm going to say I told you so.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, we're turning the page the second half of the season. It's definitely fair for an I told you so.
It's I'm just going to say, guys, Derrick Henry, that Jacksonville game, if he didn't have that one big catch, he was averaging like less than 1 yard per carry. He has a lot of problems. The coaches see that. They see that in practice too. It's not just games. I mean, I know he has that big play ability, but yeah, it's tough. Now, he did score a touchdown last week that did save him, but again, only 33 yards on 12 carries.
And Jalen Lewis is the better player. Like he's
Yes.
just the better player. So, Tennessee's lack of weapons is just going to keep Lewis on the field.
Correct. I, I don't even know how to watch football and like, no, Derrick Henry's better than Deion Lewis.
Right.
I don't know about that. Hi, Howard looking younger and thinner these days. Mendo,
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Although younger, yes, we'll definitely, yeah, let's hope so. If they were like, no, looks pretty equivalent, you'd.
Yeah, they call me Babyface on the radio, so like, I hope that stays true.
You're actually young though.
Yes, I am a.
I am a 21
adult.
But,
yes,
right?
Yes, I'm a young adult.
Okay, there you go. I'm not. I'm. Oh, it's fine. Elijah Mcguire or Vincent Smith, viable dart throws for DFS. I am starting Elijah Mcguire everywhere. Bilal Powell killed it against Miami last week. Again, I don't care about these field conditions.
I agree. Elijah Mcguire 10 times over again.
Yeah. And I just think Vincent Smith, that's just too much of a dart throw for me.
Yeah,
that's
you don't need to do it.
Yeah, you got to really. And I don't think they're going to blow out the Broncos, by the way. By the way, the Broncos don't usually get blown out. They didn't get blown out by the Chiefs both times. They kept it close the whole game. I mean, they usually are at least in the games. So I don't think that there's going to be some sort of like Vincent Smith like renaissance at the end or something, which I think you would have to be based, believe in to then go with Vincent Smith there. I think Elijah Mcguire is going to be involved the whole time. He is coming back from IR, has not played a down of football because of a foot surgery that he had early August, but he did come off IR. I call it fresh legs. Let's go with that.
I like that.
Austin Rivera says, Willie Snead or David Moore, PPR. David Moore is my boyfriend. I've been talking about him for weeks now. I love David Moore, and so does Seattle because they let go of Brandon Marshall because David Moore is so good. But Willie Snead is a volume hound, and he's going up against Pittsburgh, so I'm not quite sure I can ignore Willie Snead here, but I just wanted to give David a little bit of props before you take it away, James.
Yeah, I mean, double-digit targets in 2 of the last 3 weeks for Willie Snead. It's pretty hard to ignore that. And I already mentioned he's taking volume away from John Brown, who started the year great. Michael Crabtree is kind of taking a backseat to him as well. So, I mean, in a PPR format, why not go with the volume and in Willie Snead?
Still confused about what happened in New Orleans with Willie Snead, because what I'm seeing here is someone that they really could have used actually with Michael Thomas. So I'm very intrigued by that. Also, it's a higher over under for the Seahawks game against the Chargers, but not by much, by 0.5. And there's going to be rain and 10-mile-per-hour winds. It's not terrible, but I'm just saying, like, meh. Again, what's beautiful, though, about Seattle is that Russell Wilson is so good at football, and he is so efficient. He basically only needs to have 3 pass attempts to get 3 touchdowns. I mean, it's unbelievable what this guy can do. So I still love him, but you don't start him over Willie Snead, in my opinion. Thanks for all the help. You bet, Austin. And New York Jet Girl. What up, New York Jet Girl? Top of the morning to you. Again, I'm terrible at accents. Top of the morning to you.
Oh. Not the best. Not the best.
Of course. Okay. In DFS, would you plug in Mcguire or Chubb?
I mean, if we're not talking about salary restraints, it's probably Nick Chubb, right?
You think?
I mean, it's a solid over-under. The Chiefs' defense has been improved, yes. And, if Cleveland falls behind early, it could feel like more of a Duke Johnson game. But, all this Duke Johnson love that, oh, man, Carlos Hyde's gone, Duke Johnson. He's, not getting any he's 3 targets a game.
But we have no idea because they have a totally different coaching staff today.
Right.
I don't know what
first time offensive coordinator. Yeah, first game. I saw that they are saying it's not his first game because he ran the offense the last preseason game. So they're confident in his ability to handle this offense today, which I found quite interesting because preseason and the regular season are the same thing.
And especially against the Kansas City Chiefs. Right. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same.
Same thing.
Listen, the Browns are going to Brown. My problem with Nick Chubb is his mediocrity.
Okay.
14 points his first game as a starter, 9 points as second game of a starter in PPR leagues. That is not enough. He has not shown me any 20-point game potential. The only thing that I do like about Elijah Mcguire is the PPR element of it, because he actually catches passes. But the safe play here, as you're saying, is Chubb, because we know he's the guy. The unsafe play is Mcguire, because A, he hasn't played football yet this season. And B, they still have Isaiah Crowell, who could kill it against Miami, because anyone could kill it against Miami.
Right.
Okay. So it's about upside. For me, I just think Mcguire maybe has upside here, but Chubb is safer. If you're doing cash, I think you have to go Chubb. But
Agreed.
I don't know, man. I'm really worried that they get behind fast. This becomes a shootout and there are problems. But, still. Happy football morning, guys. Thanks for not making me do an accent. Need 2 PPR. Josh Gordon, Julian Edelman, David Moore, Devontae Parker. We also got a thanks. Have a great day from New York Jet Girl. What up? So again, let me do that again. Need 2: Gordon, Edelman, Moore, Parker.
I'm gonna go Edelman and Parker with Kenny Stills ruled out.
Okay.
I really like what I saw, and the one thing we know Brock Osweiler, as poor of a quarterback he is, can drive the ball downfield, and Devontae Parker can go up and get it when he's healthy. So I think there's big play potential, and I mean, Edelman is just super rock solid.
You have to do Edelman.
Right.
That is just out of control. I don't think we've talked enough about how Gordon is not even close to the guy who put up the gazillion yards
6 years ago.
Yeah. He's not even close. So I think that dream has died. Is he efficient enough for someone needing a fill-in? Yes, but he is not a 1,300-yard dude, right. 1,600 yards, 1,000 yards. I'm not quite sure he's that guy either. So, however, I like Devontae Parker for a big game against the Jets. I also like David Moore again. Right. I feel like David Moore has become a huge part of this offense, and they spent their entire bye week. He actually did a great interview on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio that they basically spent the bye week forcing him to learn how to be a good deep threat. So they are they love him. They love his work ethic. They're very into him. So I just want to be clear. I do love David Moore. Here, I'd probably still go with Devontae Parker for the upside, but certainly I don't want you guys to forget about David Moore. And check, David Moore is still out there in a lot of leagues. He is now a big time wide receiver for the Seattle Seahawks. They plan on doing a trio thing and just being efficient as all get out. I love Tyler Lockett and I love David Moore. The only reason I don't love Doug Baldwin is because of his injury. And we all know Doug Baldwin is a master at route running. So, it's just really cool over there. So we're going to go with Parker and Gordon. We do agree on that. Would you go? Or Edelman, I'm sorry. Edelman and Parker. We're going to leave Gordon and Moore on the bench. Would you go David Moore or Kiki rest of season? PPR, I would go David Moore.
Moore easily.
Yeah, I just think this Demaryius Thomas thing really killed this Kiki thing here. Also, the Kiki is staying healthy.
That is a large part. That is a large part of playing football.
Large part. How about those same options or Landry? Oh, Gordon, Edelman, Moore, or Parker. I would probably go Landry then and Edelman.
Yeah.
In full point PPR.
Yeah. Especially with Callaway. Callaway is questionable. So, I mean, who's he going to throw the ball to other than him and Njoku? So.
Yeah, basically. And they have to keep up with the Chiefs.
Right.
Even if Landry continues to be really subpar like he has been, I mean, let's be honest, there have been some connection issues with Baker Mayfield. They have to figure it out quick because they're facing Patrick Mahomes. Like, get it together. So they're going to have to do it. So obviously leaning Landry, just not sure. Yeah, Landry. Yeah, I mean, sure. Okay, here we go. We got lots of Facebook questions, everybody. Tune in. Let's do this. Carson or Aaron Jones?
I mean, if Chris Carson's active, it's Chris Carson. For me, the volume is too hard. Seattle is they want to run the ball. And Chris Carson, 300-yard games in his last 4. I like him if he's healthy, obviously.
Chris Carson, I'm a little worried about his injury. I know they're optimistic. I just am worried about the hip. Aaron Jones should be the guy now that Ty Montgomery is not there.
I mean, he was last week with Ty Montgomery there. He saw what? It was 80% of the snaps.
It was in the midst of the Ty Montgomery meltdown.
Okay.
So I mean, he was making himself known that he was leaving, basically. But yeah, no, I agree. So I'm going to go Chris Carson as well because of the 100-yard games. I think that he has that upside, especially if you have a bonus. By the way, always look at your settings, you guys. If you have 100-yard bonuses, guys like Chris Carson are really going to help you, okay? I don't think Aaron Jones is going to hit on 100 yards against the Patriots because they're going to need to throw to keep up with the Patriots,
right? Whether
or not Aaron Rodgers is beat up or not. Also, they just don't run enough. As unlike the Seahawks, they want to run all the time. So we're going to go with him. PPR flex, Deshaun Jackson, Valdez Scalding, or drop Valdez Scalding and grab Mike Davis. Okay. I think you go D-Jax regardless and hold on to Valdez Scalding. Thoughts?
Fitzmagic and DJ is a real thing. They are I don't know what it is about it, but if you just look at all of Fitzpatrick's games and then you go to look at D-Jax's box scores, I mean, we know he slings the ball and Jackson just runs down the field vertically. So, I mean, the chance for a big play is always looming with Jackson and Fitzpatrick together.
And he only needs one play to become a fantasy superstar. Yep. It's just that he's that kind of guy, and it always happens. That's the thing too, is that sometimes these big play guys get a bad rep because we have the Derrick Henry big play guys, right? But Derrick Henry needs like 12 touches to get to that one big play. Deshaun Jackson needs like 3. If he can get 3 targets, one of them is going to go big. I mean, he's so efficient with the targets that it doesn't need to be as bad. So a little bit different there. I go D-Jax either way. And I like Valdez Scalding for rest of season. The other Packers wide receivers cannot stay healthy. So he rotates in there somewhere seemingly every week. Am I right?
Yeah, and he played more snaps than Randall Cobb last week too. So, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer going forward.
Yeah, and I just think Mike Davis is like only if Chris Carson's out. So
you can stash him. Sure, but you're not.
Yeah,
dropping.
but I wouldn't drop.
You're not. No. But if you have another option that you're just not using on a week-to-week basis, sure, pick him up. But you're not dropping MVS.
No, don't do it, please. Hi, Steve. Need 3 wide receivers and a flex. Okay, you want to get your pencil ready?
Pen is ready.
Okay. Allen Robinson. Oh, come on.
Nope.
Taylor Gabriel. Valdez Scalding. I can't ever say his name correctly. Scalding. Guys, obviously I can't do accents or names, so sorry. Trequan Smith, Cortland Sutton, or Alex Collins.
So we need 3 receivers, but he said a running back at the end and a flex. Okay. So Sutton.
You have to sit 2, basically. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm sitting Allen Robinson and Valdez Scantling. So Gabriel, Trequan Smith, and Alex Collins for me.
And Sutton.
Sorry.
Robinson was the definite no for me,
right.
No doubt.
Agreed.
I'm going back and forth here.
Between Trequan Smith and Valdez Scantling?
Yeah, I think
me too.
I think I would sit Smith maybe. He has not been the dude we thought. No, they missed him against the Rams, but the Rams secondary is not easy. I think this is just going to be a big time Thomas and Kamara game because they're just so much better than all other humans.
And I think that's fair. I do like the uptick in snap count. I think Smith got up to like 80% last week. So, and we know that Drew Brees, if there's one thing that Drew Brees has always been able to do, he doesn't hone in on one target. Any player Drew Brees throws the ball to can end the game with 10 targets. So I think like I think there's upside, but I do agree. Like Scantling is probably the safer option,
Right.
but
Yeah, that's what it is. Yes.
I think Scantling provides us. I mean, Trequan Smith provides us with the upside. Just knowing that Drew Brees at any point in time can go off for like 500 yards and throw the ball to every receiver 10 times.
Fair. But if you're going up against the guy who started Nick Mullens, then you got to go Smith. But if you're not, you might.
It's crazy to think about, but yeah.
Goat. Just kidding. With everyone on bye, my flex is weak. Full point PPR. Corey Davis, Michael Gallup, Duke Johnson, or Dalvin Cook. Can also pick up Mike Davis. I have Wilson as my quarterback.
Can you who were the final two before Mike Davis being picked up?
Duke Johnson and Dalvin Cook. How do you feel about Dalvin Cook today?
So I think if he gets 20 snaps, which who knows, that's been
and snaps, not touches, by the way.
Snaps. I think if you're in this exact situation, I would think about it for a few seconds and then I would move on.
Okay.
You just can't. You can't do it. I don't know.
You
can't do it.
What if Latavius Murray is actually better than Dalvin Cook?
I don't believe that, but there's no doubt that, Latavius Murray can stay on the field, and that's what it comes down to. Dalvin Cook in 2 seasons, we have these in sports all over the place, immense talents that just can't stay healthy, and if that's what's going to happen, I'm not going to play him until he, okay, maybe in if it was an uptick in snaps and if we were doing DFS and we were building a bunch of lineups, I would put Cook in 1. But in a fantasy format where, there's no, it's not daily, I don't think it's plausible. I just can't do it. So I'm not playing Dalvin Cook, and maybe just game theory wise, maybe Duke Johnson. Maybe.
So would you go Corey Davis or Michael Gallup here?
Corey Davis because the lack of, but Dallas defense has been so good. So I don't like either. I guess Corey Davis. We've seen a monster game out of him, and now Amari Cooper is going to cut into Gallup's time. So I think Davis over Gallup, and maybe Davis over Duke Johnson. I guess Corey Davis is I don't want to play any of them.
Yeah, Mike Hammerman said, this is the worst question we've ever received. And I just want to thank you for that. I have very little positive to say to you right now. I'll be honest with you. I think Michael Gallup might have a sneaky good game.
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot of evidence to back that up other than the matchup, which is good.
Right.
And the fact that he has shown that downfield, he is the best receiver on that team. And that includes when Amari Cooper comes to town. Michael Gallup is the best downfield option. There's no doubt about it. Just will Dak Prescott throw it downfield? That's been the problem.
Issue. Yeah, that's the issue.
That's been the problem. So if it doesn't happen on that one big play, it's not going to happen at all. So what you're going to do, I guess, is you're going to go with Corey Davis because it's a full point PPR and hope that volume can at least give you a decent floor out of these 4 options. I think that's where we are. But other than that, obviously these aren't great. And I don't think picking up Mike Davis is going to solve your problems unless you want to pick up Mike Davis and drop Duke Johnson. The only reason you'd keep Duke Johnson is if you think that the new coaching staff is going to figure out a way to get him involved. But to be honest with you, I don't see how you could ever play Duke Johnson. If you're not going to play Duke Johnson this week against the Chiefs, never going to play him.
Never.
So why even have him on your roster? Mike Davis, though, only practical if Chris Carson doesn't go. It looks like he is. We'll have more inactives. In fact, do we have any inactives going?
Let's check it out. I got a little update right here. Okay, so Bears inactives. Allen Robinson is inactive. Khalil Mack, as we suspected. No one worth noting on the Buffalo side. Kansas City, Cleveland, we have.
Is that a general statement or about injuries?
That is,
no one
both.
worth mentioning. Okay.
Both, yeah, both. So Kansas City, Eric Berry again, Justin Houston again. Over on the Cleveland side, So Antonio Callaway is active for the Browns today, as is Rashard Higgins. So, all you Rashard Higgins truthers out there. For Tampa Bay, Ronald Jones, we knew. For Carolina, Torrey Smith. New York Jets, Tremaine Johnson, inactive. Interesting for Miami receivers. No one worth noting on Miami. Chris Thompson for Washington. Jamison Crowder, inactive as well. I think that's interesting. Matt Bryant, kicker if you're in a 3-kicker league. No one for the Steelers.
Matt Bryant out is a big deal if you play with kickers, you guys. A lot of people start him. Please make sure that Matt Bryant is not the reason why you lose your fantasy matchup this week. It's very important.
Ty Montgomery, inactive for the Ravens this week. Stephon Diggs, officially inactive for Minnesota.
Ooh, give me my Alex Collins.
Agreed. We have...
Quincy Nunez playing, so is Robbie Anderson.
Quincy Enunwa and Robbie Anderson both in. So Jermaine Kearse, that ship
never even came into port.
Yeah, that I agreed. That ship is sailed so far into the Atlantic right now.
I'm still into Chris Herndon though.
I mean
that connection's real.
The touchdowns. How bad the tight end position is. Plus we have bye weeks. I mean, and we're not worried about the game. If you're not worried about this field conditions in Miami, then Chris Herndon is definitely viable, especially in the red zone.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, non-PPR need 2. Galladay, Cohen, Baldwin. To me, it's Galladay and Cohen. I don't even need anything else. Yeah.
Easy.
Outlook on Fournette. Traded away Fitzmagic for him. He'll end up being my RB3 behind Melvin Gordon and Zeke. Yeah, I mean, that's fine if he's a RB3. We don't know what Fournette's going to do, and you always want to get a running back for quarterback. So congrats, right?
Yeah, that's a great trade if Leonard Fournette ends up coming back. I mean, that's fantastic.
And that person's stupid. I mean, I shouldn't say that. That's not nice. You're not wrong. Not wrong. Full point PPR, pick 2. Godwin, Amendola, and John Brown. Now, people are really big on Amendola because he's going to be going up against Buster Screen, Howard's punching bag. So we're sticking with Amendola.
Bag. Yes, correct.
Would you go Brown or Godwin?
John Brown.
Okay. Cup, Coleman, or Ingram, full point PPR, starting Sanders and Edelman.
Cooper, Cup, Mark Ingram.
Kevin Coleman and Mark Ingram? I would go Cooper Cup over anybody.
Agreed.
I'd do Cooper Cup over Sanders and Edelman.
I mean, Tevin Coleman hasn't had a game like with 50 yards or more rushing. So, and Ito Smith gets all the red zone work. So, I mean, I wish Tevin Coleman was a thing because he is very talented and they drafted him to be that guy before the breakout of Devonta Freeman, but it's just not happening. Not right now.
Nah. Yeah, and you know what? It did happen in other years when Freeman wasn't
right.
in,
but now Ito Smith. Well, they love Ito Smith so much that he just takes away so much red zone volume from Tevin Coleman.
But you can't play Ito Smith either because he doesn't play if he's not in the red zone.
Right.
So
right.
And also Washington is a good defense. Somehow Washington and Alex Smith are going to win this game. Listen, all the fantasy points are going to be the Atlanta side of the ball, but somehow they win football games. And we can talk about Alex Smith is terrible in fantasy, and he is. And they don't have wide receivers. It's a joke because their best wide receiver is Paul Richardson, but he can't be healthy. Jamison Crowder's already out. Chris Thompson's already out. But, man, Alex Smith finds a way to win football games. And I don't know what it is, but real football, I don't know how you wouldn't want him. So, all right. Quincy Enunwa, Mike Williams, or Anthony Miller for full point PPR?
I mean, I think Anthony Miller with Allen Robinson out in a nice matchup, and Enunwa, there's a lot of mouths to feed with everyone healthy, and Elijah Mcguire, so they have their pass catching back. Like if Elijah Mcguire wasn't there, maybe there's more targets to go around for the wide receivers. The emergence of Chris Herndon takes away some volume, so I think Anthony Miller's a nice little play, a nice little flex play this week.
especially without Allen Robinson. By the way,
Exactly.
Allen Robinson hasn't even gone over 300 receiving yards yet. And by the way, there were 3 games in a row that Mitchell Trubisky threw for over 300 yards. So it's really not a factor, but still in terms of target share, it does help Anthony Miller. Agreed.
I'm such a stan. I'm such an Allen Robinson stan. I wish I loved him in Jacksonville so much. I believed, and I'm off the bandwagon now.
You gotta look at stats and tape.
I know.
And then it tells you that you're gonna have to move on. It's okay though. Rank these 3 PPR. We're gonna pick it up a little bit because we got a ton of questions. Sorry, everybody. We'll try to get to all of you. Devontae Booker. We're trying to also give you the information though that you need. Right. So that's live. Devontae Booker, Trequan Smith, Laquan Treadwell. Wow.
Booker, Treadwell, Smith.
That's the order?
Yep, that's my order.
Full point PPR. Gallup, Corey Davis. Oh, we already talked about this one. Dalvin Cook or Duke Johnson. Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
Amendola or Stills. Stills is out, correct?
Correct. So he's not listed inactive, actually. So that is big news. So Kenny Stills, who was projected as out all morning, is not listed on our inactive page. So
yeah, he is going to be active. I still go Amendola though.
I do as well.
One of them's facing Buster Screen and it's Amendola, so love it. Hey guys, with Diggs out, who should I start? Sutton or Taylor Gabriel PPR? I think
it's a good one.
I think I'd still go Gabriel.
And Allen Robinson. Good matchup.
Yeah. It's just,
really good matchup.
It's a good matchup. I think Sutton could happen too. I actually like both these guys. Sutton has been happening in the end zone, so
good problem to have.
He's a good problem. This is a good problem to have. What would you do? I'm very torn on this.
I mean, I'm probably going to go Taylor Gabriel. He's going to be, he's just the de facto number 1. I do like Sutton. I mean, even with Demaryius Thomas there, it's, he was seeing 3+ targets every game, and they love him in the red zone. So I think he's viable. How long do you think the Broncos offense is going to be on the field a lot of this game with the emergence of the Texans running game, just eating the clock and eating the clock and eating the clock? I feel like there's going to be less snaps for the Broncos offense in this game, which could take away from their offensive production here.
No, I agree with you. So let's go with Gabriel, but we do like Sutton.
Agreed.
We just think there's a possibility that there won't be a lot of scoring period. Lockett, Ridley, or Sutton today?
Lockett, Ridley, Sutton. Lockett is a touchdown machine right now, but
I don't know how you fit Lockett.
Yeah, I mean he hasn't scored in just 1 week. He scored a touchdown all but 1 week.
Yeah.
So.
But Ridley, are they going to get him going after the bye?
It's been a couple weeks since he's,
Yeah. I have a feeling he's going to pop, but I don't really have a lot of statistical backing to that. I just feel like they're going to come off the bye with some good ideas with him. There's actually a joke among the Atlanta Falcons beat writers that Julio Jones is going to hit 1,500 yards before he scores a touchdown, which I think is hilarious. I don't know. To me, the safest choice here is really Lockett.
Agreed.
I don't think there's any way you can get around that. I think Sutton is higher upside, and so does Ridley. But if you are like, man, I just really need a solid 10 to 13 fantasy points, then Lockett is definitely going to get you that.
Yep.
Would you agree? Okay.
100%.
Stafford or Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson. Second half Russell Wilson is
my boy.
Second, like if you just go look at his numbers throughout his career in the second half, it's insane.
Love it.
So easily Russell Wilson.
Agreed. Need one. Also, Stafford is getting hurt by the fact that they're using Kerryon Johnson, by the way, a lot more than they had been before.
Finally.
Yeah, finally. So intriguing here. And against the Minnesota Vikings, I don't know. Need one. Snead, Gabriel, or Valdez-Scantling. FYI, I have Devontae Adams in my lineup already.
I mean, I think Scantling was the third choice there anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'd go Snead.
I would go Snead. Volume equals fantasy points. Most of the time.
Deshaun Jackson or DJ Moore PPR? I go DJax.
Agreed.
2 spots. 1 point, 12 team PPR. Sutton, Carson, or Trequan Smith?
you go Sutton and Carson as long as Carson's healthy.
Agreed. Looking for the bench depth before the waiver. Gabriel, DJ Moore, Cobb, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, or David Moore. Well, I think you definitely pick up Gabriel. And
is your league active?
yeah, like how's he
Are
out there? Yeah, I mean Gabriel for sure, right?
Yep, 100%.
Okay, should we wait one more week on Cook?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, well, then you're going to have a bye week. So, I mean, you're going to
right.
So don't get too excited. Yeah, you're going to wait on it. I think he's just hurt, and I don't know if he's ever going to, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
PPR, I have Carson in the flex. If he can't go, do you like Tevin Coleman or Doug Baldwin instead? Although I need to decide before the 1 p.m. game. Thanks. I think I would go Tevin Coleman for safety.
Agreed. And
no
Baldwin only had one. There's only been 1 week of Baldwin, plus that injury is just going to be looming all year. So, I'd rather just go with a starting running back who's going to get the touches regardless.
Yeah. Drop Hyde or Yeldon to pick up David Moore in PPR. I would. I don't trust either of these guys with Fournette.
Yeah, you don't need either of them.
Not either. I don't want any of those three dudes because I don't know when I'm going to play them.
Just the Jacksonville offense in a vacuum is just not something you want a part of right now.
No, thank you. Trubisky or Rivers?
Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
I don't hate Trubisky, but like game theory, yeah. And then game theory, it could be just like last week where they get up and then it's just hand the ball to Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen. So. Yeah.
Okay, great. So here we are on Periscope, you guys. So many comments. Okay, here we go. Hi, guys. Happy Sunday. If Michelle plays, would you start him or Aaron Jones, non-PPR? I don't know how you sit Michelle if he plays, but I'm glad you have another game. That's great.
Yeah, that's what you need. That's what you need. So, yeah, you play Sony Michelle if he's active.
Okay, great. Good morning. Tyreek Hill, Deshaun Jackson, Kenny Galladay, pick 2. It doesn't say PPR or not.
I'm leaving Jackson out.
Hill and who?
I'm leaving Jackson out. Galladay and who was the first one? Tyreek Hill?
Yeah.
I'm going Hill and Galladay. I love Jackson, but I think Galladay has just as much downfield upside, I think. Especially with Golden Tate gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like Deshaun Jackson a lot this week, huh?
I do.
I get it. I do too. So I don't think you could go wrong.
I think he wanted to leave the Bucs when Jameis was the quarterback. I'm just going to put that out there. I think that this was a big thing for Deshaun Jackson, where he's like, thank you, sweet baby Jesus. I hate this Jameis Winston guy. I think that he wants to show off a little bit, be with a decent team. This is how he can do it, is with him. But I like Kenny Galladay as well. I'm okay with Kenny Galladay and Tyreek Hill. I just think they're going to run more against the Vikings.
Then you swayed me. I'm with you. I'm going to go D-Jax over Galladay. I'm with you.
Yeah, but it's close. It's really close, you guys. Really, really close. I think if it's PPR, oddly enough, I'd go Galladay.
Okay.
If it's half point or standard, I would go Deshaun Jackson for me. Good morning. Should I start Godwin over Sanu? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say so. PPR, Bibbs or Booker?
I kind of like Bibbs. I think I was looking up numbers, and the amount of receptions and passing yards to running backs they've allowed is like very alarming.
It is.
So like if you're down, like if you were playing against like George Kittle, or you want an upside play, I think Bibbs is the upside play.
Yeah, I agree. I like Booker too, by the way.
Right.
I just think that Bibbs might be a little something special today. A little something special.
I wish Chris Thompson was healthy. Oh, I wish he was healthy. So he'd be in every DFS lineup I'd make. And
when Chris Thompson is healthy, he's so amazing. He and Matt Breida, but like when they're not, it's just a disaster. Okay, start Fitzmagic and hope he plays the whole game, or start Smith or Keenum. I think you got to go Fitzmagic over Smith or Keenum because those guys have no upside.
No upside at all.
None at all. I think that Fitzmagic will finish this game. I don't think he finishes this season.
Yep.
Because they just don't want to. They want to go back to Winston for whatever reason. It just is what it is. Should I play Njoku or Dion Lewis at the flex in a PPR league?
It's a good question. I mean, I really like Njoku, but I think just sheer volume, maybe I'd probably go Dion Lewis.
I think Dion Lewis is the safer play.
Yeah.
This new offensive staff, we don't know what they're going to do in Cleveland.
Yeah, no idea.
I think that if they had a brain, they would use Njoku.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But we can't guarantee that. We have no idea what these people are like. So it's a little hard for me. So I'm going to go Dion Lewis, but it's a toughie. PPR, need 3. John Brown, Josh Gordon, Devin Funchess, or Kenny Golladay. To me, that's Brown, Gordon, Golladay. Leave out Funchess.
I love Funchess this week.
Oh, you do? Okay.
It's probably because he's going up against Tampa.
No, you're right.
And I think last week's 3 targets was kind of an aberration because if you go through week by week, it's like 7, 8, 7, and he's their best receiver. So I really like Funchess. I probably play him over Golladay in that.
Oh, okay.
Right? I think Golladay was the.
Golladay, Gordon,
right?
Brown.
Oh, okay. I take it back. I'd play him over Josh Gordon for sure.
Okay.
I missed Josh Gordon. Wait over the head.
Oh, no, it's all good. Okay, so Brown, Funchess, and Golladay. I feel good about that too. I think you're right about Funchess, Tampa Bay. You know what? The brain says go with Tampa Bay's defense.
Yeah,
It has nothing to do with Funchess, actually, at that point.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think the 3 games I also feel like it was a little bit of an aberration. Demaryius, Marvin Jones Jr., or Ridley, PPR, start 1. I would not start Demaryius this week.
No.
I know I'm alone on this.
You're not.
I don't think he's a revenge guy. He loves the Broncos. I think the Broncos are sad. I think he's sad. I'm not quite sure it's going to be like, oh yeah. I mean, that's just not his personality at all to be like, oh, I'm going to show you. I mean, he is the opposite of that kind of demeanor. So I don't even think that is. And he's just so brand new to the team, but I don't know. What do you think? I mean, it could be a revenge game, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I love narratives. I love birthday narratives. I love revenge narratives.
I do too. I love birthday narratives.
But, I think that Marvin Jones Jr. is just the better play with Demaryius Thomas not knowing the playbook.
I agree. Goff or Fitzpatrick? Season long. Oh, in season long leagues.
Goff. Jared Goff. Yeah. Easily.
Yeah, going up against the Saints, babies. I don't think we've talked enough about that game, and I'm just going to say this because we got to get out of here. But if you can play any Rams or Saints, they're all good. Trequan Smith is the most risky out of all of them. But I'm literally starting everyone else, right?
100%. Yeah, easily. Yeah. I mean, that game has Thursday Night Football, Rams, Vikings written all over it, like part 2. So.
Yeah. Start them all. So I just want to say that in general. Any other parting thoughts here? I did want to say I think that Atlanta's fantasy points will remain good. I don't think they're going to win the game. And the Bears, I am worried because they're playing the Bills, and the Bills haven't scored over 13 points the whole season, right? So why would they need to score a lot of points, except for the one game against the Vikings? So I'm worried about the Bears.
That's kind of game theory wise. I think that turns me on to Jordan Howard more than I've ever been. Prior to the year, obviously I was all in on Jordan Howard, but we saw him in this similar type game last week. He got 22 carries. He was 1 yard off his season high, and he scored. Almost. So I think, again, if anything, it just makes me like Jordan Howard even more here.
Agreed. We like everyone from the Tampa Bay Panthers game. Across the board.
We
don't care about Cam Stoller. The Kansas City Chiefs, obviously, start everyone, and you would be idiotic to even question that. But I think the Browns might be where you can get some sleepers here because they have to throw to keep up. They have to stay involved. And this is a rivalry going back to college between Patrick Mahomes and Baker Mayfield. We don't have a lot of statistical evidence because these are brand new coaches and they're the Browns. But this is interesting. Jets, Dolphins, we've decided we don't care about the field. Kenny Stills is back, which makes Devontae Parker a little dicier for us.
Agreed.
The Jets, we think, are going to mostly use their running backs, right?
Yeah, I mean that they should. Yeah. Then their wide receiver core is muddied now with everyone back.
And everyone's mediocre. Steelers at Ravens. We didn't really talk about the Steelers. You're not going to sit the Steelers, but obviously your expectations should be tempered, right?
Yeah, Big Ben on the road is what it is. He's actually been statistically he's been pretty good this year, but
Yeah.
it's in a smaller sample. So I don't hate Big Ben this week, which a lot of people, oh, I'm not playing him on the road. I'm not playing him on the road. I think that's kind of misleading. But if you have like a Ryan Fitzpatrick and a Big Ben, I would go someone like Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Okay. And I think that actually, if you want to differentiate yourself in DFS, play Steelers.
Agreed. Yeah,
They
I
have
mean,
20-point upside always, and no one's going to play them this week.
every single player on their every skill position player on their team has like 20 plus DraftKings points upside. Even FanDuel, honestly, they could just go off at any time.
At any time. And I will say this, with Ty Montgomery inactive, you can still play Alex Collins. I don't think I would play Jafarius Allen, though.
No.
Because he hasn't done anything in a long time. Detroit, Minnesota, we don't have a whole lot to say other than Stephon Diggs is out. You obviously start Adam Thielen. If you're taking a flyer on one of those wide receivers for the Vikings, okay, but you know that your floor is 0 points. And
what are your thoughts on Latavius Murray with Cook playing 20 snaps?
I think I'm still playing
any Latavius Murray.
It's a great
surprisingly
matchup.
No questions. We had no Latavius Murray questions with
no Latavius Murray questions.
I was kind of like I thought was going to be a pretty big topic with Dalvin Cook coming back.
I know. I think no one believes in Dalvin Cook anymore.
I know.
I can't disagree with them. I'm still playing Latavius Murray. It's too good of a matchup, and if they're only going to cap Dalvin Cook at 20 snaps, not touches, snaps, I don't know. Lions, you start other wide receivers, and Kerryon Johnson, and that's what you do. We are talking about Falcons, Washington. Would you start? I mean, you're going to start Adrian Peterson.
Yes.
You're probably going to start Bibbs as a flyer. That's
really,
about it.
really high on Bibbs, and you don't. I mean, if you are like if you're the guy who asked us that question before, that included Duke Johnson and like Josh Dotson is on the waiver wire, maybe. Season high 5 receptions last week. Season high 5 targets, maybe. But I don't love it. But I'm just throwing it out. Just
6 teams on bye. You might be really desperate. Texans at Denver. I think you start everyone you normally do. I'm a big Philip Lindsay proponent.
Oh my God, yeah.
Season, but I think this game he could really pop. You start everybody. I mean, there's nothing really to say here. Chargers at Seahawks. This is the one that has rain and wind, but I still think that Russell Wilson don't care. He's fine. They've been playing in Seattle a long time, and he still does can happen season better in bad weather. So I feel fine about that. In terms of the Chargers, I think you start everyone. I think Tyrell Williams is the play over Mike Williams. I just want to point that out again, guys. The guy's killing it multiple weeks in a row. Rams at New Orleans Saints, obviously everyone. Packers at Patriots. I'm starting everyone too. I know Aaron Rodgers is hurt, but he's playing Tom Brady. He's not going to let his pride let him down here. It's gonna be just fine. Titans at Cowboys. Wildcard. I have nothing to say about that game.
Gross. I hate that we end on that game. That's
but you know what? I thought Oakland at San Francisco was going to be gross, and Nick Mullens changed my life. So you know what? You never have you guys, but we don't have any statistical evidence to tell you that anything's exciting there, except for obviously Ezekiel Elliott that you're going to play. Even though this is a tough matchup against Tennessee for Ezekiel Elliott, but you would never sit Ezekiel Elliott, especially with 6 teams on bye. It's not even worth the conversation.
Nope.
So there you go. All right. Well, thank you so much, you guys. It is 12:06. We gave you a little bit extra, but we got to get out of here. So thank you so much. Go kill it in week 9, you guys. Go over to fantasyalarm.com to check out anything that's going on in terms of the chat. We answer our questions there. Also, you guys, Fantasy Factor is buying right now. It is a single entry contest platform. You want to go check it out. You get the rest of the NFL season for free. They're also going to throw in the NBA Playbook Pro for free. It's amazing. Go to fantasyalarm.com/factorNFL. That is fantasyalarm.com/factorNFL. Thank you so much, you guys. Have a wonderful Sunday. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Later, guys.